Hello, MIDI for Kids parents. This is Mr. K checking in after our first guitar lesson. Everybody had a great time, at least they said they did, and there were smiles. And so thank you. I appreciate having your children for guitar class. It's really pretty awesome. I'm going to go over just a couple of things that we did in class. The first couple of weeks are going to be really orienting ourselves to the instruments. Now, we have a couple of students that have taken guitar before. We have a couple that have taken ukulele before. So for most of the students, this should be a really kind of a review period anyways. But just to go over, there are not too many parts of the guitar. On this page that your kids came home with is a diagram of the guitar, and for the ones that want to try to get some brownie points and fill this in, I'll even tell you what the different parts are up here. This line is pointing to the tuning pegs. Those are what we turn to tune the strings. This bracket and line are pointing to the neck of the instrument. Right here, this line is pointing to a fret bar, and this one is pointing to a fret space. Down here is called the sound hole or tone hole. This line here is pointing to some strings, and this line down here is pointing to the bridge. That's the part down here that holds up the strings. We've talked about the different parts of the guitar, went over them really quickly, and then quickly on to playing the instrument itself. The way that the guitar is set up, it has 6 strings that are, for our purposes, numbered from highest to lowest. If you're looking at the neck over here, the smallest, thinnest strings, that string is number 1. The next one's number 2. 3, 4, 5, and 6, and so on. So one of the exercises we played, which I'm going to play with you right here, is to pluck the string that I call out. So I'm going to move the camera down a little bit so you can see my thumb plucking. I'm not going to give it away right away, but I'll play along so that you can kind of confirm whether your string choice was correct. So I'll just call out a string like string number 1. Sounds like that. Groovy. String number 6. String number 2. String number 6. String number 1. String number 5. String number 4. String number 2. String number 6, string number 1, string number 3. If you notice, part of what I'm doing is trying to play the strings without looking. Kids, ask your parents to just call out numbers like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Or make on a sheet of paper, write 10 numbers in a row using just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and see if you can play those patterns. The better that you get at finding those strings without looking, the better you're going to become as a guitar player, even if that means physically counting the strings until you play the right one. I don't mind slow right now at this point. We're looking for accurate. Next step is combining both playing a string and playing a fret. These little bars up here, they're called fret bars. In order to change the pitch of a string, we have to press our left hand finger behind one of the frets. If we play a string, we'll just work on the first string. If we play that first string without pressing a fret, we call that open. If we take our first finger and lay it right behind the first fret, then we'll get a new pitch. Go ahead and try it. Open and first fret. We use the second finger with the second fret. Notice my finger's all the way up, almost touching that fret. It's not back here. If it's back here, I'm going to get that buzzing sound. If you notice that buzzing sound, that's an indication that you're back too far from the fret you're intending. Or if I'm on top of that fret, I get that kind of dull sound where it doesn't sound like it's making much sound. So we want to be right behind the fret. And then our third finger for the third fret should be clear and crisp and a ringing sound. Now, if at the same time that we play that third fret of the first string, if we play the first three strings 3, 2, and 1, we have our first chord, which we call G major. Now, if you want to try to keep these two fingers down, that's fine. If you need to lift them up a little bit, that's fine as well. So if you don't mind strumming along with me on that G major chord, we're just using our thumb, making sure that we only play those first three strings. If we start to play all of them, we don't get the same chord. That's our G major chord. Now pause for a moment. We're going to play our second string open, second string, first fret. Now if we play the three top strings there, we'll get our C major chord. Played a little game where we switched. So I'll say 1, 2, 3 and play G. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Switch to C, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Switch back to G now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. C. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Switch back to G3. 1, 2, 3. To C, 2, 3. C, 2, 3. And G, 2, 3. And C, 2, 3. And G, 2, 3. And C, 2, 3. And you can just try as many different patterns as you want, as long as, first of all, you are strumming only the first three strings, and as long as your fingers, when they press on the fret, are not on the fret, but just behind it. Try it without looking as much as you can. I know it's hard at this point. Don't worry. We're just making some music. We've got plenty more chords to be trying out. We've got plenty more songs to be messing around with. For this week, just get yourself oriented with the guitar and practice strumming along a little bit with what I've got here. There is one page in your handout. I'm strolling through some of the stuff that I didn't print out yet. We should be getting some of this maybe by next week. But on what would be page 9 here, here's an exercise that has the strings on the fretboard, as well as a note that we're supposed to put up. So for instance, this one indicates third string, 1, 2, 3, first fret. Notice that dot right behind the first fret. If I was going to place the fourth string, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the string D, and the second fret, I go behind the first fret here, I go behind the second fret. I would draw a dot there and draw a line connecting that. Fifth string, we count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's string A. The pitch is A. If you're familiar with piano or reading notes on a staff, that's what those letters are. Fourth fret, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down there, I'd put a dot and then connect the line. Feel free to do that exercise. Well, guys, that's about all. I hope you had a blast. If you have any questions about your guitar, about the strings, if something seems like it's not right, feel free to stop by any day of the week, and I can usually pretty quickly figure out something. If you are in dire need, like say for instance you had a string that breaks or it just starts to fall apart, I'd encourage you to take your instrument into a local music store like Danny Ray's, Guitar Center, Ken's Guitars up in Georgetown, and have them look at it. Especially for strings, they're usually pretty quick and pretty inexpensive to change those out for you. Sorry about the length of this video, it's a long one, but I hope that you find it useful, and I'm not looking to be YouTube famous, I'm just hoping to help out the kids. And my secret password for next class, none of the kids even know that I'm going to give them this, but the secret password for next class is Geronimo. Might be a secret prize for anybody that comes in whispering Geronimo. Don't tell your friends. They gotta watch the video. Alright, take care folks. See you next week.